Hello, it's step 12 again, page 124. We're at the top of page 124, and there's just a little bit left, so I'm going to get that done. We're starting first paragraph, but today in well-mannered AAs, these distorted drives have been restored to something like their true purpose and direction. Well-matured, and well-matured means having maybe emotionally, mentally more grown up. But the definition I got when I looked up well matured meant pertaining to certain foods and drinks, having a rich, satisfying flavor developed through aging. Distorted drives. Drives are different from instincts. True purpose. True purpose is an intention to achieve a long-term goal that is personally meaningful and has a positive impact on the world. Ways to find your true purpose. Ways to find your true purpose. Identify your passions, reflect on what matters, recognize your strengths, consider the people you admire, try volunteering, cultivate positive emotions, gratitude, and awe. True purpose of life is ultimately up to each individual to determine for themselves. Some people believe the purpose of life is to seek happiness. Others believe it is to serve others. And still others believe it is to fulfill a spiritual destiny. That doesn't mean you can't have all three. We no longer strive to dominate or rule those about us in order to gain self-importance. We no longer seek fame and honor in order to be praised. When by devoted service to family, friends, business, or community, we attract world spread affection and are sometimes singled out for posts of greater responsibility and trust, we try to be humbly grateful and exert ourselves the more in a spirit of love and service, which is true leadership. True leadership, we find, depends upon the able example and not upon vain displays of power or glory. Vain displays of power or glory. Section 12 on page 124. 24. Displays of power and glory. Vainglory. Vainglory means empty glory. Vainglory is an illusion that gives the appearance of glory but is really emptiness. It is a quality possessed by people who are conceited, boastful, and full of themselves. A vain display of power means an excessive or showy demonstration of authority or influence, often done with the primary intention of boosting or impressing others rather than with any genuine purpose or need for power, essentially flaunting one's power in a self-important or unnecessary way. What is that? It's excessive pride. It emphasizes the idea of being overly proud of one's power and wanting to show it off excessively. This display is often described as ostentatious, meaning flashy and intended to attract attention. The main goal behind a vain display of power is to appear important or superior to others rather than to achieve a meaningful outcome. Still more wonderful is the feeling that we do not have to be specifically distinguished among our fellows in order to be useful and profoundly happy. Distinguished means admired for excellence and to stand out. Not many of us can be leaders of prominence, nor do we wish to be. Service gladly rendered, obligations squarely met, firmly faced. Troubles well accepted or solved with God's help. The knowledge that at home or in the world outside we are partners in a common effort. The well understood fact that in God's sight all human beings are important. The proof that love freely given surely brings a full return. Certainty that we are no longer isolated and alone in self constructed prisons, the surety that we need no longer be square pegs in round holes, but can fit and belong in God's scheme of things. These are the permanent and legitimate satisfactions of right living, which no amount of pomp and circumstance, no heap of material possessions could possibly be substitutes. So let's break that down. Wow. Love freely given surely brings a full return. AI means that when you give love without expecting anything in return, you are most likely to receive a fulfilling and abundant amount of love back in various forms, whether from the person you're giving love to or from the positive impact it has on your own life and relationships around you. Essentially, the act of giving love generously is its own reward. That is unconditional love, idea that genuine love is given without strings attached, not as a means to manipulate or control someone else. By freely giving love, you create a positive cycle where others are more likely to reciprocate with love and kindness. Can bring a deep sense of personal fulfillment and satisfaction. Self-constructed prisons. I know I looked that one up, but I don't know where. Here it is. This is from The Mental Prisons We Build for Ourselves by Greg Vanourek. Self-constructed prisons, how to get free. Some actions we can take. Focusing on what we can control and not worrying about the rest. Exploring different aspects of the issue with a sense of curiosity and fascination. Remaining open to new possibilities and alternate interpretations. Avoiding the trap of catastrophizing. We're not assuming the worst or exaggerating the flaws. Changing our context to bring a different perspective and renewed energy, especially to a place that provides sanctuary. Replacing our inner critic with a more charitable and helpful narrative. That's our inside voice that either criticizes us. So, cognitive reframing, shifting our mindset to look at a situation or relationship from a different and more helpful perspective. such as redefining a problem as a challenge or puzzle that we become curious to solve. Playing, it often changes our physiology by moving us into a state of deep engagement or flow. Choosing what to think and be mindful about. Many people become passive victims of the random thought stream in their minds instead of encouraging their observer or deeper perspective and employing their ability to choose which thoughts to keep and which to dismiss as unproductive or unwelcome. Giving ourselves grace, acknowledging that nobody's perfect, and the point of life is not to try to appear perfect or successful to others. These are the permanent and legitimate, real, authentic, genuine, not fake, satisfactions, happiness, and joy of living that you can't replace with power, prestige, that you can't replace with all the material possessions and stuff that you want to buy. There's no substitute for the genuine satisfactions of living life the right way. You cannot fake it until you make it. You have to actually do it. That's what it's saying. True ambition is not what we thought it was. True ambition is the deep desire to live usefully and walk humbly under the grace of God. Right living is the key to happiness. These little studies of AA's 12 steps now come to a close. We have been considering so many problems that it may appear that AA consists mainly of racking dilemmas and troubleshooting. To a certain extent, that's true. What are racking dilemmas? Refers to difficult choices or problems related to, okay? We have difficult choices, okay? To a certain extent, that's true. We've been talking about problems because we are a problem people who have found a way up and out and who wish to share our knowledge of that way with all who can use it, all. So not just talking about the ones we choose or the people we like to help, the ones who are convenient. And we're not just talking about only alcoholics, okay? We're also talking about addicts too. And we're not just talking about alcoholics and addicts. We're also talking about everyone else that doesn't fall into the little boxes of whoever you choose, okay? So we want to help all who can use it. For it is only by accepting and solving our problems, my problems, that we can begin to get right with ourselves, with the world about us, and with Him who presides over us all. Is it in that order? I wouldn't say so. I say get right with God. If I get right with God, everything else seems to work out. Understanding is the key. Understanding is the key to right principles and attitudes. And right action is the key to good living. So I need to understand what right principles and attitudes are. And then I can take my knowledge and my learning and my studying, because you really can't understand and know and learn anything if you're not trying to study, learn, understand, and know. You're not going to just automatically know. Okay? So understanding is the key to learning the right principles of living and the right attitudes of life, daily life. And then right action is the key to good living. So if I do the things that I know are right, even though I may not feel like it, I'm doing what I know is right. and I'm practicing learning. Okay? This is what you get. Joy. Therefore, the joy of good living is the theme of AA's 12 step. Okay? So you see people walking around who are happy all the time and bubbling with joy, and you don't understand how they get it. How they get it is just like that. With each passing day of our lives, may every one of us sense more deeply the inner meaning of AA's simple prayer. God grant to us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can, and wisdom to know the difference. It's an inside job. Acceptance is the answer. And somewhere in the Bible it says when you ask God for all these things and all you're getting and all you're asking and all you're wanting to get understanding. So with that, I pass. I hope I've been helpful to someone on to tradition 12, and I'll be glad to be done with this.